A song with over 1 billion streams, millions of dollars made, but I didn't see a cent.
The talented Aussie is currently the subject of a bidding war between some major record labels.
Everybody knew the song, but nobody knew me. This is the dark side of success, the story behind Please Don't Go.
Hello.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good. What's your name?
I'm Joel.
Joel.
When I did XFactor, I didn't even really know how to perform then. I'd probably sung about 2-3 times in public for family and friends. So within 24 hours, boom, I just got thrown into the deep end. And I think from there on, it was like I was just trying to keep up with myself, and that's kind of been the narrative of my early career.
Try my best and do what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
It's not like I had a manager at the time or I had anyone to kind of like guide me on, oh, this is what you do when you have some exposure. So I just kind of did what I'd seen other people do in the past. I just started posting stuff on YouTube. I wanted to collaborate with other YouTube artists and I guess grow my following. I reached out to a ton of different singers and cover singers that I wanted to collab with, and one of them got back to me. But it wasn't the singer, it was the singer's manager. And they came back to me like, hey, love your stuff, would love to jump on a phone call with you or a Skype. And he says, I want to fly out to Australia and I want to meet you because I want to manage you. So he flew out, came to meet me and my family. But in the end, my parents, my dad especially, kind of pushed against me doing that. He said I had to finish school. At that time, the manager had to go home and I had to just go back to normal life. It was quite disappointing. Kind of made plans that like after I graduate, the day after I graduate, usually people go to schoolies or they go on a vacation. I made the plan to like, I'm not going to schoolies, I'm not going to like do anything but pursue my dreams. So the day after I graduated, I got on a plane and I flew to America.
Alright guys, what's happening? So we are leaving New York and we're heading to Washington because we're going on the road and back to New Orleans. So yeah, no, it's all good. Back on the road, so it should be good.
I finally meet this manager again after 2 years not seeing each other, and it was like, I don't know, I felt like I should be really excited and I should be really, really pumped about it, but I just had this really uneasy feeling. It wasn't long before the relationship between me and this manager started to go really downhill.
Until we get to Atlanta, so keen to just get to the destination. 'Cause I want the world to feel big like.
There was certain things that were happening that were making me very uncomfortable in terms of the way that I was being treated, and I am meant to, on my 18th birthday, sign a contract with him, and I felt like, man, I really don't know if I want to do this. And I remember I brought it up to him. I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to sign this contract. And when I said that, it was like, I don't know, I just saw a different side of the dude. He was like, well, if you don't sign this, like, you know, we're gonna sue you, we're gonna sue your family, like we're gonna bury you and all this other shit. And I was like, oh fuck, I better sign it. So I just signed the deal. I thought that I was going over America to, you know, work on music and, you know, finally pursue my dream, but really I just dug myself into a really bad situation that I couldn't really just get out of.
Releasing his debut single, Please Don't Go, which has been viewed online more than 15 million times.
I was at school, walking into music class, and my teacher comes up to me, he's like, hey, Joel, are you ready to perform your song? I'm like, my song? He's like, yeah, we have an original song exam today, and you're meant to play, you're up first. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Didn't. I went into the exam room and I literally performed the song on the spot and made up all the lyrics on the spot. Back in like, I think it was grade 10, I wrote Please Don't Go, and then I had to perform it in this room. Fast forward, you know, about 2-3 years, I still have the song and I'm with this manager. We had like budget for one more song, like to go and do one more song. And I thought, okay, well, if it's gonna be one more song, I feel like it needs to be this song, Please Don't Go. And I remember like we worked on it for about a few hours and then we sat back and we listened to it at the end of the day, and it was like, as soon as we pressed play, it was just like, there was a feeling in the room.
I wanna take it back and start again.
I just recorded the song and I come back to Australia because I've been over in America for about a year now. And it almost didn't come out. I went to hang out with one of my friends, and a little bit of a backstory. When I was with this manager, my whole life was controlled. My texts were being read every day. There was a GPS on me. Like, I had no freedom. I just wanted to be a normal kid. But I come back home and I catch up with one of my friends. We were hanging out and we decided, oh, we're gonna smoke a bit of weed, you know, because we're just kicking it and we're just normal kids, and that's what normal people do. Like, after that, I was super paranoid because I remember that was one of the rules, is I'm not allowed to do drugs, I'm not allowed to do anything. And I messaged my friend and I said, oh man, just make sure you just don't mention the weed. Then, like, within a few hours, I get a call from my manager and he's like, you're a fucking piece of shit. I fucking know what you texted your friend so-and-so, and your career is done. You can say goodbye. I'm locking you out of all your social media accounts. We're not gonna fucking work with you anymore. You're not allowed to do anything in music. You kiss your career goodbye. See you later. Basically, Please Don't Go wasn't gonna come out, and that was never gonna happen. So I applied to go to TAFE and I was gonna start building, and I did. I was laboring at the time, working with like my dad's handyman at his office. I was on the job site. This is like a month after doing the work, and my boss at the time, he was like, this is not for you. You need to go chase your passion. You're good at music. That's what you're good at. This right here, this is not for you. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do, because I told him a bit like, this manager won't manage me. I don't know what's gonna happen, and like, I'm so happy to be out of the situation. He's like, yes, but nothing is worse than turning your back on your dream. I was like to my boss, I was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna do whatever they want me to do, and I have to sign this contract. And then I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. And the contract's basically, if I smoke any more weed or if I do any drugs, or if I get drunk in public, I have to pay like a fine of like upwards of $200,000 every time I do it, which was just so stupid. But like, I'm 18, I'm like, I don't know what money is, I don't care. And basically, yeah, I had to always have a GPS tracker on me at all time. It was wild. But if that's the price for me to be able to do this music thing, like, I'm gonna pay it. And I put out this apology video on YouTube.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Joel, and first of all, I want to apologize. A lot of people have been asking me where I've been, what's been happening, because I went offline around November and I haven't really posted anything since.
The next few days I go record the music video for Please Don't Go, and then the song comes out like a few weeks after that. We dropped it on iTunes and it maybe got like a few thousand pre-orders, but when we dropped the music video, that's when shit went absolutely crazy. I remember we dropped this music video and basically within like 24 hours, like, it's got like millions of views on Facebook and then YouTube. And then a few days later, my manager's calling me. He's like, well, you'll never believe it, but like, Columbia Records and Capitol Records and all these Atlantic Records, they've seen the video, they've seen the song, they really like it. They want to fly you back here to the States. Fly over to America pretty much a few weeks after Please Don't Go comes out. I'm doing all this cool stuff. I'm meeting all these record labels. I'm going to the Grammys. I'm going to Grammy after parties. I'm in the room with people I never thought I'd, you know, see. I mean, I remember I was taking a piss at these cubicles and CeeLo Green pulls up next to me and he's pissing right next to me. He's in this like robe and we're at the Grammys. It was just like some crazy shit. I was so excited. But then there's the other side of it. My manager is saying, well, we're not going to sign these contracts unless the money's right for me. Basically, the whole way that this was painted to me was like, you're just some lucky, stupid kid who happened to meet me, and you're lucky enough that I've chosen you to take under my wing and all this other shit. So I'm going to make the decisions for you, and if the decisions don't benefit me, well then you can kiss all these labels goodbye and you can go fuck yourself. At the end of the day, like, I own your song, I own everything. Now I know I'm gonna be sweet, I'm gonna make all this money. It went from, you know, this is so exciting, but that novelty quickly wore off because we got offered a really good deal from a record label. Everyone around us was telling us, like, my manager's family at the time was saying, you need to take this deal, you need to do this deal, it's so good. He was like, no, I don't wanna give up control. And then we got into a bit of an argument, and I remember it led to me, you know, a few exchanges were thrown, like words, and he spat on me in front of like everyone, like, and I was like, what the fuck? I think that was the last straw, you know. And he spat on me, told me that he was gonna kill my family and all sort of shit. Like, I'd heard it 100 times before. That was not an odd thing for him to threaten me and tell me he was gonna kill me, or tell me that he was gonna kill my family, or just really messed up shit. But I just felt like, man, what am I doing? Like, I just came all the way out here hoping to make something happen, and like my song is doing so well. And so I just called my dad and I said, Dad, this is what's been happening. And actually for the first time, really, I mean, I told my parents what's been happening in the situation, like, you know, in terms of like financially I've screwed myself because I've signed a bad contract and all this other stuff. But they never knew about the abuse to the extent that they really didn't know anything. I kept it very secretive, and I pretty much just told my dad everything. And my dad that day booked a ticket to come out to America, and he flew out, and he came to get me. And yeah, I went back home with my dad.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's me. I am just in Melbourne right now doing some press for my song Please Don't Go.
I think at that point the song had gotten so big and everything was moving so quickly that there was so much financial interest for my manager at the time to keep with it, even though like I was pretty much like ready to walk away. But my manager said no. He convinced me to do a press tour in Australia. So I went around Australia and I did a bunch of news shows. Then instead of going back to America, I flew to London instead, and I spent about 6 months in London making what was going to be the follow-up song for Please Don't Go. And at that time, it actually caught viral on Spotify, because the song was viral on YouTube and the song was viral on Facebook and social media. But what really, really like blew the song up was when the song went viral on Spotify. Like, I remember at one point I was the #1 independent artist on the planet, like unsigned to a major label. I was the #1 independent artist. And at the time I was like thinking, I don't want to even do music anymore because I'm so sick of this bullshit that I'm going through. And I get a offer brought to me by a record label, and it was like north of $10 million. It was a north of $10 million deal, which was crazy. I didn't understand money back then. I mean, it's hard to understand that much money, but that deal kept me locked in with the manager at the time. And I remember I just kind of like thought about it, and I called my dad, and my dad was like, how many years have you done of this? I'm like, I've done like 2 years of this whole situation. And he's like, how much longer can you do? I'm like, I can't even do another 24 hours. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I didn't want to be like anywhere. And it was so wild because it's like my song is like, my whole dream is like happening, but I just don't really care. And I said, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just want to get out of it. I just want to go home. So my dad called one of his friends who contacted him to someone, and eventually got me to Peter Paterno and Howard King. Basically, these two guys saved my career and my life. And they said, Joe, we've looked through the contract that you signed prior to all this. We've looked through everything. We don't need to read only about 2 pages. You need to get out of this. Like, this is the worst contract we've ever seen in our life. We don't know the full extent of what you've been through, but this contract is enough to, you know. So I remember at the time I had a phone that he had control of, my manager. I pretty much got rid of that phone. My mum flew out to the UK, and then basically, instead of flying back to Australia, I flew to South Africa. I didn't fly to Australia because I was too scared that if I flew to Australia, he knew my address, he knew where I lived, he knew my family, but he didn't know that I had family in South Africa and that where they lived. So I flew to my family's place in South Africa, and I spent like 2-3 months in South Africa just like living at my uncle and my auntie's place and surfing and just kind of like trying to be normal, while my lawyers then just took over the whole situation. I got locked out of all my social media accounts. One of my friends was like, oh, I love the new song that you put out. I'm like, new song? I didn't put out a new song. And they were releasing music. They were releasing music as me and talking to my fans as me and posting stuff as me, pretending to be me online and like trying to still profit off me. At one point, they even got a body double to play me in a music video for a song I'd made. So basically, I'm in South Africa, and I fly back to Australia for the end of the year for Christmas. During this time, my lawyers are engaging, and I think a lawsuit was filed by my management against me. So I get sued, and then went to court for like 2-3 years. At the midst of all this, Please Don't Go is still in the charts. So like everyone thinks that, oh, and I'm releasing new music. People think that I'm, you know, I'm just happy, I'm living my life. I was in court, you know, and I'm hoping that, you know, if this stuff goes right, I'll be able to do my music again. And about 2-3 years later, obviously I can't really talk about what happened in court, but everything got settled. I started releasing music again.
Say hello to your fake friends. Hope I don't meet them someday.
I then went from all that shit to going back to this, trying to release music, and I think kind of finally hit me the enormity of everything that I've been through. And I went into what I thought I was gonna be super happy and super excited about my career, I went into like the deepest depression. You know, I had a huge song. And I had a moment to really, really capitalize on the enormity and the success of what was happening with my music. But I couldn't, because of what I was going through. I couldn't legally do it. I couldn't physically do it. I couldn't do it. All my music that I'd written that was meant to back up that song at that time, they owned. I couldn't put that stuff out. So I had to start fresh again. And at 20 years old, or 21 years old, whenever it ended, you have to understand, it's like really hard to kind of shift the gear. And you don't have the maturity to kind of bounce back from something like that. I remember I put out this song and it didn't really perform to what I wanted it to. And I just felt like after that whole situation, I just started to decline. Like, it's like I was on this just, you know, everything just went down really quickly. I stopped taking care of myself. I stopped caring. I would spend a week in bed, like just at my apartment in LA. I kind of just gave up on my career during those years in LA. I felt like, oh, I finally got out of the situation, but I didn't. I was still being held hostage by all that shit I went through. I got, deep into drugs, deep into everything. Eventually got to a point where I probably thought I was going to kill myself. And COVID happened. And I was meant to be going on tour. I was meant to be doing all this stuff. I wasn't excited about anything in music at that point. I didn't care about anything. And the world just kind of goes upside down. And I think, damn, I thought I'd been in America for like about 3 years after that situation, and I was like, you know, I need to go home now. I think I've had enough of all this. The crazy thing also was the fact that like I was working with really cool people at that time. I was getting to work with, you know, my idols, people that I really looked up to, like people like Ron Antetta, people like Charlie Puth. I was in the room with like really cool people, but it almost felt like all the shit that happened, I just wasn't ready to do any of that stuff. So it felt like the situation just got the better of me. And I kind of let all those opportunities pass me, and yeah, I moved home. Now I'm re-releasing Please Don't Go. This is, you know, 10 years later. The music video is out, you can watch it, and I guess the cool thing about this now is I'm doing it my way. People now know that Please Don't Go, there's a lot more behind the story than just like, you know, a guy who hums in the song. I think everything happens for a reason, you know. I believe a lot in following your gut instinct, you know, and this, as much as, you know, this shit I've had to go through, that's the price that I had to pay for my career, you know. Everyone's got a price, that's mine, and I'm still gonna have to keep paying, you know. Who knows what's gonna happen after this, you know. I gotta keep working, I just gotta keep showing up, and I gotta trust the process.